Well, namaskaram.
Namaskar, Mana. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's wonderfully windy today.
Yes, nice weather, of course. This dramatic weather here in the ashram. Sometimes it's hot, but it's quite pleasant today.
It is. It is.
Right. So, Anna, welcome to Gen Zen. That's a channel name.
Gen Zen.
Yes.
Okay.
So it matches with the Gen Z.
Gen Z. Okay.
Right. So we're just trying to bring balance.
That's clever.
For today's generation. May I know where you're from and what's home like to you?
Where I'm from and what's home like to me. So I'm from the U.S. Again, if you're familiar with the Midwest, I'm from Chicago. So interestingly, we kind of talked about the wind already here. One of the nominators or monikers for Chicago is the Windy City. But ever since being here since July, since about a month and a half now, I guess you could say, the wind here, I'm telling you, this place just blows me away. So calling that the Windy City just feels like I just feel like if you haven't been here, you wouldn't call that place the Windy City, because this place will blow you away in many ways. If you just talk about the wind alone. But anyway, what's life like at home for me? I'm the only child, and I grew up with my mom and my dad and my sister. However, in America, people would probably refer to her as my cousin sister. But I grew up knowing her as my sister my entire life, because that's just how I was raised, and that's kind of how I saw her. So I never really saw myself as the only child in a way. I always had fun wherever I was in that sense. So yeah, I guess that's a little bit of what's life like at home in a way.
One thing from your culture that you deeply cherish, you mentioned that you're from Zimbabwe.
Oh, yes, right. So it's not that I'm from Zimbabwe, but my name is Takudzwa. So the name Takudzwa is from Zimbabwe. That's where my mom is from.
Right.
And I think, right, we were talking about that another time. What I was getting at that is, in Zimbabwe, we have many cousins and whatnot, but we don't really refer to them as cousins. We see them as our brothers and sisters. At least that's how I've seen it. And that's how I've imbibed it in a way. So in that sense, that's where that kind of came from. Yeah, one thing I can mention is from my dad. He gave me this poem, I think when I was 8 years old or even a little bit younger, but it's called the Desiderata. I don't remember who it's written by, but it's a poem that he told me to just keep going back to. And I'd say that's been part of a certain culture that's inculcated me in a certain way, because one of the lines in there is like essentially never compare yourself to other people, because there will always be someone greater than you, there'll always be someone lesser than you. So just always see people as they are. That's kind of how I've essentially understood that. It doesn't say that verbatim, but to me, that aspect of respect is really just embodied in that quote to me, because when you're respecting other people, you're just seeing them as they are. If you look at somebody as like, wow, they're like this, then you start to exaggerate their qualities. If you look at somebody like, oh, they're like this, then you start to, diminish their qualities. So maybe look at them in a condescending way. But if you just look at people as they are, then you see them as they are, and you can just appreciate them for as they are, instead of having to exaggerate or, do anything like that. You don't have to make up anything. You just see it as it is. And I think that's beautiful in that way.
And I believe this is your first time in India that you've...
Actually, second time in India.
Time.
Yes,
Right.
yes. But I'm glad that I'm back.
All right.
It's good to be back.
Was it in the ashram that you had come before, or?
Yes, I came to the ashram for about 8 days. I came for a program specifically when I came to the ashram last time. So, and now I'm back for another program, but much longer this time.
Right.
So
great. So since you came in India, Bharat as we call it,
Bharat.
So is there any cultural shock, something that you may have not witnessed anywhere else, and you thought, oh my God, this is what happens here?
I mean, the reason I'm laughing is just because like what I'm thinking about. I feel like India's like nature, or it's like water, in the sense that let's say when I'm in the airport and whatnot, and you're standing in the queue of line, it's like there's no such thing as a queue in a way where it's like if there's space, people will fill it. That's what I mean by like it's like water, and it's wonderful, because like for me, just like shop, I'm like, I've been here for I don't know how long, and then someone just comes there just casually, but I'm just trying to give people personal space. There's no such thing as personal space, it's just like there's space, fill it. And that to me was it was amusing. It was amusing in that sense. Cultural shock, maybe you could say that, but it was something that was like, oh wow, okay, let me try to harmonize with this in a way. It's not like, okay, I give everybody a certain amount of space. No, if I'm going to stand, I'll stand right here so I can make sure I can get to where I want to go in the time I need to get there. Yeah, that's what I would say.
Great. Well, you mentioned you've been here. This is the second time.
Yes.
You've done advanced program also, I believe. How did you get to know about Sadhguru?
I got to know about Sadhguru through my mom. This is back in 2020 and the winter of 2020, so maybe about the peak of COVID. And my mom, she's always been supportive in my introspection, or you could say path to integrity, whatever way you want to phrase it. And every now and then she would send me tidbits like texts and whatnot of like, hey, you know, the path to success or the road to success is always under construction, things like that. Little things that would like, okay, just as reminders, like, hey, just keep focusing on what you're trying to do. At this time I was in college or at university, and she sent me essentially 3 videos. One was a video of a pastor, and then one was a video of a motivational speaker. Then the third was a video of Sadhguru. So I wasn't really interested at in the pastor. I was like, okay, it's interesting, but I'm okay. I wasn't really interested in the motivational speaker. But then this third guy, I was like, okay, who's this individual? At the time, I was studying university for psychology. I wanted to become a psychologist. Originally, I wanted to become a psychiatrist. Then I wanted to become a psychologist, and I settled on that at that time. And the video was Sadhguru talking to, I think, Dr. David Engelman. Don't quote me on that, but he was talking to a neuroscientist from Harvard. And this was part of the series of, I think, Science and Spirituality. And it was a 2 hour, it was longer than an hour and a half long talk. And it was essentially on the mind, neuroscience and the mind and whatnot, the different aspects of the mind. And I was like, okay, this is interesting because I'm studying psychology. I'm absolutely fascinated with the mind because of just things that I've just introspected with myself with journaling for a long period of time, consistently just seeing that the mind is the root of so many issues that I have maybe within myself. And then once you start seeing that within yourself, you start to see it with other people. And then you're just like, okay, wow, okay, if I fix this, then I can fix so many things in general. So that was why psychology. And then that was why my also interest in the video. I was just like, cool. I sat for that video, the entire thing. I did not move. I was just totally hooked in it because the way he articulated or expressed, the way he explained the mind, I've never heard the mind explained in that way. And that really just grabbed me in that moment. I was like, okay, what is this yogic dimension of the mind? What, 16 parts of the mind? What do you mean? Oh, it's too much. You're going to settle it down to 4. Wait, what are you talking about? Buddhi, ahankara. So all of these things, I was just like, this is just too fascinating to me. You know, the mind wants to eat. So that was just like exactly what I wanted to eat at that moment. Even though I didn't really know I wanted to, but I just had a feast that whole video. From that, I started to do the inner engineering online. At that time, it was offered in parts. I think it's offered differently now. But at that time, you could do the inner engineering online. And then if you wanted to, you could go in person to the ashram to do the initiation or take diksha for Shambhavi Mahamudra Kriya. So I did inner engineering online January of 2021. All 7 days. That was a fantastic experience because I was just like, wow, this is, you understand yourself in such a deeper way that doesn't just happen in that program. It like unfolds the more you apply it. Because it's engineering. You're learning how to engineer yourself, or you're learning how you are engineered, you know?
Yes.
And it's a constant learning because you're constantly with yourself moment to moment. So that was a fascinating time for me. So that's kind of how I got into Sadhguru. My mom is the one who introduced me to Sadhguru, into Isha from that. She's not a meditator, ironically. And ironically, she also heard about Sadhguru. I think she told me a couple years back that she heard about Sadhguru maybe 3 years before she talked about him to me. But it was just like, you know, looking at his videos, gazing at his videos here and there and whatnot. So yeah, but that was just a little bit of a tangent, just a little bit of a digression there. But yeah, that's how I got into.
Right. Well, you've had quite an experience, I must say. After watching a video of Sadhguru, you being a psychologist, you learning how to be, you know.
Yeah, studying psychology, right?
And
right.
then You mentioned about 8-day program. I presume that is
The silence program.
the Samyama silence
Yes,
program.
yes.
So just in 4 years, you've completed the all BSP are also BSP Shunya and Samyama. So
When you put it like that, it kind of
what
sounds like,
just
oh
made
wow.
you go fast track? You know, from just studying in college and then you like graduated in the yogic science.
When you put it like that, it's like, oh wow. It's interesting to look at things retrospectively. What made me want to? You said go on a fast track. You say, I don't know. I wouldn't term it as fast track because everybody goes at everybody
own
has different
space.
speeds. You know,
Everyone has their own speed, yes.
Yeah. I just when I heard him speak, the reason why I was so enraptured by that video was there was something that was just extremely resonant in that in his speech, the way he was articulating things that I had yet to bring articulation in, but I knew intuitively within myself, if that makes sense. So there's things that I was like, okay, this is the path that I want to go on, or I think this is the right thing to do, or this is the solution, or something like that. But it wasn't to the degree of articulation where I could fully throw myself into it. There was still some like, okay, I need to journal more. I need to intersect more. I need to figure out more about what's going on with this. And then when I heard that video and saw the mind explained, really, when I saw the mind explained in a way that I've never heard it before, and also in a way that made sense, not just the fascinating, I was like, oh, this is new. It's like, oh, this is making sense. So it's like, from that, I just wanted to dive deeper into the sense. That's the most simple way I can explain that.
So you mentioned your mom introduced you to Sadhguru, right? And I'm sure you're glad about that. But what were your friends and your near one, your family thinking about this when they were seeing you go through all this?
Yeah, that's an interesting one too. That's part of the thing I was getting at the end, where I'm just grateful things happened the way they happened, because yes, they were alarmed because if you just boom off the thing, you're living with other people as well, and then if you just boom don't show up at the university, you stay back at home or something like that for a while, they're just, oh, what's going on? And then other people, we had a close group of people too. They're just like, hey, what's up with T? Oh, my nickname is T as well. What's up with T? Like, where's he go? What's happening? Last time I heard he was going to an ashram. I heard he was going to this. So some of the guys, they were thinking of just like driving all the way down to Tennessee, showing up just like, hey, where is T? They were coming up with like all these different operations of trying to find and discover where is this man, because like I was just like gone completely, like from their point of view, gone, technically dead in their experience, if you could say that, because no response.
Okay.
But now, even with those same individuals, I'm still able to come back, talk with them, have fantastic conversations. And they also understand that I'm delving into my understanding of this path in my own way. And even some of them have expressed interest in what I'm doing as well. Not what I'm doing, in introspection or meditation. I don't want to make those synonymous. In understanding yourself deeper, in a deeper way. So
that's really nice.
yeah, it's cool. It's cool. I'm thankful how life has
So your perspective has totally changed, and I can really sense that all that your friends and family, the way you mentioned, says a lot about the changes that you have come across over the time. And if there is one word to sum up your journey so far, particular moment, anything that could be about the ashram, Sadhguru, or overall in Bharat, what would you like to say?
One word,
Or spirituality for that matter.
to sum up this path. Can I say 3 or can I say 4? Okay, because that will sum it up perfectly, and it settles a lot of things for me. Growth is not linear.
Fantastic.
Simple. Because sometimes we think 1, 2, 3. 1 should be here, 2 should be here, 3 should be here. But sometimes 1 is here, 2 is there, 3 is here. But if you're at 1 and then you're looking here and you're like, wait, 3 is there, but I'm not even at 2 yet. You know what I mean? And there's so many things where, because the mind wants to have conclusions so many times, because you think 2 should be here, you're missing the 2 that's actually there. However, if you were to just look, then, oh, now I'll go over there. But if you make the conclusion that, well, one is here, so two needs to be there. No, two doesn't need to be anywhere. You just need to be here and open and looking.
Right.
If you're looking, you'll see.
Amazing. That's a very good way to see things, and I hope that everyone does, the same way. Keep an open mind and see things the way you do.
The way I do.
Yes.
I don't know about that, but if they definitely see things and allow their intelligence to flower the way it will, I think that's the best way. Because all these trees are different. You know what I mean? That tree isn't trying to flower like how that tree is and all that. But because its soil is rich, it's flowering the way that it should be at its maximum possibility. Right?
Yes.
So I think that's the most thing. And that's one thing that I've been slowly starting to understand and discover a little bit more and more, that it's about nurture. Just nurture the soil. It's about the atmosphere. It's about the environment. It's about the ambiance. It's about all of these situational factors that if you can arrange them in certain ways, then just wait. Just watch and see what happens. Don't try to pull the fruit from the root. Just grow the root and allow the fruit to happen whenever it happens. Don't worry about it though, That's one thing
All right. Now I'd like to know some fun facts about you. What is more difficult, the yoga postures or eating with your bare hands?
Definitely yoga postures, because for me, even, I guess this goes into my home life as well, eating with the hands is natural. That's something I was brought up with. I would just, it's been normal to me. This was kind of like coming to a second home in a way, when I would come to Diksha in a way and whatnot. I would say sitting down in a cross-legged posture, that would be different, but that goes into the postures, right? It was different. So that's something that I've been needing to adjust myself to be able to be more at ease and sitting in those postures and whatnot. And I've been noticing over the weeks, as I've been allowing my system to adjust, I've been getting at better and deeper levels of ease. Not perfect, but again, that's fine. That's part of the journey anyway. So.
All right. So any one particular food that you love and you want to, take back home?
Oh man. Can I say sambar?
Sambar.
Ah, yes. Man. But there's another one. There's this sweet that I had that I have no clue what the name of it is. It was a square rectangle block. When you bit into it, it was like two different experiences. So you bite into it, and then it was a certain texture. And then as you start chewing it, it became a different texture. I don't know what that sweet was called, but that was fantastic. If it happens again, when that sweet comes, I'll try to find the nearest Anna or Akka or something like that and just be like, okay, did you have...
Let me help you, because I've been in and around sweets since the day I was born.
Okay. All right.
Because my father used to run a sweet shop.
Oh, even better. Nice.
Yeah. Nice. So was that texture, after texture, like a sticky part?
Yes.
It's called son papdi.
Son papdi.
Yes.
Son papdi.
Yes.
Okay.
You may have seen a similar kind of a sweet like that, but it was very soft and melting.
Okay.
But it looks the same, but it's not the same.
Interesting. Son papdi.
Was it that?
I think
yellowish?
It was yellow, yes. Okay, so it was son papdi.
Yes.
Son papdi. Okay, I'm gonna have to repeat that like a mantra so I can look that up on Google and just figure out how to make that. But yeah, that would be one thing for sure.
All right, great. Thank you very much for your time and patience and for sharing some interesting facts. Just one last thing before you go. Any message that you want to send back home to people in the US about spirituality, about Sadhguru, about this ashram?
If you see this life as important, then you want to experience that life to its fullest possible. However dimension that is, whatever dimension that is, as much. And for me, I saw that waking up, eating, going to work, eating, sleeping, waking up, eating, let's repeat. I felt that there should be much more to my experience than that. And I missed some spots. Yes, you're talking to friends, you're watching your entertainment, but why are you doing that? It's if you want to deepen your aspect of life, there are ways to do that, and there are tools to do that, and that's my understanding of yoga. If there's a certain direction that you want to do, or a certain direction that you want to go, there is a yoga for that. So if you want to deepen your experience of whatever aspect of life that you're in, whether it's school, whether it's sleep, whether it's eating food, whether it's doing certain things to align yourself to experience a deepened aspect of reality, there are tools to do that. And I'd say just keep your eyes open. If that's what you're interested in, keep your eyes open, and whatever is needed for you will come your way.
Well, I believe you, when you close your eyes, you'll get to know more, right? And,
yeah.
And yes,
I agree with that.
Just don't, what I take is from you is that just don't get hooked in the cycle of economy.
Yeah.
Running the cycle
Because it's
of
very
economy,
easy.
right? But
it's
then also there are different ways to, feel things, and there are different dimensions that you can tap on.
Yeah. Well said.
Thank you very much once again.
Namaskaram.
You do take care, and namaskaram.
Okay, thank you.